Oh my gosh, guys, I'm surrounded by palettes and I don't see that that's a bad place to be. I'm so excited. This is an update, a long-awaited update for the Eyes 2023 Project Pan. Enjoy your eyeshadows. Eyes stands for. This was a project that was created by Deb, and her channel's name is Deb B. And her thought was, just want to use what you want to use. And her only requirement for the project is for us to tell the pit, which is like the thing we didn't like, and the peak, the thing we like the best, from the stuff that we've used. So I have not updated this project since flippin' March. I can't even believe that it's been that long. But the participants are going to be listed down below. I believe it's me, of course, Deb, Jen from Project Beauty, Danny from Danny's Makeup, Shelly from Unapologetically Shelly, Verity from Red Dirt and Stardust, and then Ginny and Mandy. And I'm not sure if they're on Instagram or if they have YouTube channels, but I'll have everything listed. Oh, Mandy is Mandy IRL. And then also who is doing the Pan That Palette. I'm not doing a Pan That Palette so much as I'm doing like a it's just my focus palette, is Ceylan from JLo's Makeup, Valerie, VMRT, Debbie, and Jen from Project Beauty. Jen is doing the actual like big ABH, like the Norvina brand palette. The rest of us are doing the small one. Ceylan and Valerie are definitely using the Norvina palette for the Pan That Palette. They've made tremendous, you should go check it out. They've made great progress. And the rest of us, well, I think Jen's using hers as I don't know. The rest of us, I think, are using it as a focus palette, which is the way I like doing it. I cannot pan a palette, but like if I have it in as a focus, it's less pressure and I can just use it. So let me start with those things. So I had my Norvina palette as my focus palette, and then I brought in also this Lancome French Soleil little tiny mini palette, thinking, okay, baby pan that palette, and this will be great to travel with. So I'll get into the Lancome one first. First of all, let me get my booklet. I only use this palette. It's so sad. Let's see. I use this palette, it looks like a grand total of 6 times. And here is what it looks like. It's lovely. It's very, very cute. But like, I don't know. It's not something I wanted to use, so I didn't. So I'm actually taking that out of the equation. I don't even want it as something that's like something I have to quote unquote focus on. So I'll get into what I'm going to do instead in a minute, but I want to show you my Norvina palette. I'm very excited about this because since I showed it to you in March, it went from 193.31 to 192.67. So it went down over a gram. No, yeah, about a gram. And I'm really happy about that. The first thing you'll see is that I made major headway in base. I used that shade, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 31 times before I hit pan. And then I hit 57 uses so far on base. So actually, let me write that down. And then I'm going to continue to tally. And then the next shade I hit pan in is Wild Child, which is here. I hit that when I was in Vegas. And I have used that shade 20 times to hit pan. So I'm actually going to write that down too so that I can keep tallying. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. I'm not going to keep telling you like all the times that I've touched these shades. Some of them only once, some of them twice. I think Eccentric, I've only used this once in total. But yeah, it's continuing to be a lovely palette for me. I use Dreamer quite a bit as my brow bone highlight when I do one. I really have enjoyed Celestial up here. You know, I like the shimmers. These darker ones I haven't been using so much. Volatile, actually, I'll go into quite a bit to darken up my outer corner or crease. But I'm really enjoying using this. So I'm not mad that this is going to be sticking around the rest of the year to use it. So what I'm doing instead of this little Lancome one as a focus, I decided I like the way Ceylan did this. She has a bigger Lorac palette that she just works on in different projects and wants to get like use, and hopefully we'll roll it out. So I'm doing that with my Lorac Pro 2 palette. I had this in as a pan that palette for tiny pans. No. But I was able to finish a shade, and now I also have shade in pan in rosé that was in a project. So what I decided to do was just kind of keep this around and pull things into projects to use it. And hopefully this will continue to be like another focus palette for me. And this is going to continue to be my focus palette like into next year. And I'm just going to kind of keep it hanging around and use it. And yeah. So I will update you on how many times I hit like each shade as I pull them into projects, but I'm not going to really update it except for weighing it every time I do an eyes update. So I did weigh this, so next time I do another update for you, I can let you know, the weight from there. But yeah, so I'm excited. So I'm going to be using these two as focus palettes. It's been working really well for me since I made that decision. And yeah, I'm really happy about that. So yeah, hopefully you agree with my decision. As I'm moving into the palettes I used in September, I'm realizing that I used 3 of them already this year. So they got a little extra love, which is fine. But really my goal is to hit all my palettes at least once before I use one again. But there were some reasons for it. So let's see, the first round of palettes I have. This is the Essence Bonjour Montreal palette. I really like this. I used this in my, I did like I did a video where I talked about like Essence as a brand and then used a lot of products from them to like focus on and see if I liked them. So that's up on my channel. But this was a beautiful palette and I really enjoyed it for the look. So it's staying around. The next one I used was this Urban Decay Wild Green palette. This was for a palette bingo with Amy, Melissa, and Erica Ashley and a bunch of other ladies. And I filmed it, but I realized that it was supposed to go up on my channel, but I realized instead of pressing record, I pressed record and then pressed it again and I wasn't recording. So the things I thought I was recording, I wasn't. And then my other stuff that I was trying, like I wouldn't have recorded, I was recording, like me bending over and getting stuff and whatever. So anyway, that didn't go up on my channel, but this is a lovely palette and I will definitely be keeping it. I mean, it's definitely not too punchy or anything like that. It's not very exciting. I don't think you need it in your collection, but I'm not mad that I have it. Let's see, this palette was so beautiful. Dragon Fruit palette. Jen and I did a palette bingo. Or did we do a palette bingo? No, we just decided to create a look with this and we filmed it and put it on our channels. So you can go look, Jen from Project Beauty and myself, you can look at our channels for that video. But here's what this palette looks like. It is just so gorgeous. I really enjoy Cleona shades. And I'm really glad I have this in my collection and it's not going anywhere. Another favorite is this Odin's Eye and Angelica Hella palette. Oh my God, like look at this. I mean, it's just gorgeous. So gorgeous. And this was a palette bingo done with Amy, Melissa, and Erica Ashley and a bunch of other ladies. So you can go check that out on my channel as well. And then click on theirs and watch theirs if you would like. But here is what this palette looks like. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's not going anywhere. It's one of my favorite palettes and I'm so glad that I got to use it again because I had used it already for a look because I love it. I love it. If you can get your hands on it, do so. The Huda Beauty Empowered palette. This is lovely, but it's not one of my favorites. I didn't really play with it a ton. I only did 3 looks with it, which is what I normally do when I pull in a palette for a prompt. It's not going anywhere. And I do like Huda Beauty's formula, but again, I don't think this was my favorite one. I think I was having a hard time coming up with like an all-inclusive look, which is what I really like when I pick up a palette. I want to make sure that I can use it for everything. And I found that there wasn't like a really good, like really upper, there wasn't a light enough shade in here for me for like my upper transition. So it's fine. I'm not getting rid of it and I'll use it, but it's not my favorite. ColourPop Garden Variety. You know, this is so underrated in my collection. And every time I look at it, I'm like, it's beautiful. And every time I use it, I enjoy it. And it really looks well loved because it is. I've used this 3 times already this year in projects. So, I mean, I must like it. So yeah, it's beautiful. It's sticking around and I just love the packaging. It's just gorgeous. And I don't have any pictures of eye looks. I just don't take them. Another one that I'm gonna like fawn all over is the Glamlight Strawberry Shortcake Berrylicious palette. Oh my God, I'm so glad I bought this. This is definitely nostalgia for me because I love strawberry shortcake, and I loved strawberry shortcake. I had all the smelly little dolls. I even had the strawberry that you opened up and you put all your little blueberry cobbler and all the different little like plastic dolls in, and they all lived in there, and I carried it around and I just loved it. So, and now like my niece loves it and I just love it. I bought her a t-shirt. She wears it. I'm like, yay, strawberry shortcake. So anyway, here is what this palette looks like. I used each row as a look. I've used this already for like 3 different projects this year, and it's not going anywhere. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, next big pile. I have the Pat McGrath Labs Sublime Smoke palette. This is really cute little 6-pan. I have the purple one as well. And yeah, this is sticking around. I really like it. It makes a cohesive look, and yeah. Then I have the Charlotte Tilbury Easy Eye palette for the Charlotte Darling look. This was one I got in my lucky bag, and I'm gonna get that again because I was really lucky. But this is a really nice palette. I don't know that I would have bought it, but it definitely, the performance is not what I was expecting. I kind of thought the eyeshadows would be but it was pretty good, and they weren't patchy, and I enjoyed using them, so sticking around. Nothing's being decluttered, by the way. I should just stop saying it's sticking around. Another one of my favorites is this Suva Beauty Saffron palette. I really enjoy this palette. It is well loved for me. I've used it quite a bit, and I've used it already twice in rotations for this year, so yay. And then finally, the Pat McGrath Labs, in this pile finally, Mothership Moonlit Seduction palette. Oh my God, you guys, I keep everything in the packaging for her because they're just gorgeous. Now I will say, and I kept all the film and everything on it. Here's what it looks like if you don't know. It is so heavy too. It's like a super component, and the back is so bougie. And then the mirror is like beveled, and here is the shadow. Now, the shadow is nice. Is it the best I've ever used? No. But I do like it. I just think, I understand why they're expensive. They're weighty. The artwork is beautiful. The shadows are lovely. The engraving of it, I mean, it's definitely bougie. But I've used better eyeshadows that are cheaper, like Glamlight and like Odin's Eye and even Natasha Denona. So I'm not rushing out. I have 2 of the big motherships. I'm not going to be rushing out to get any more. I mean, unless something comes and like really hits me, I think I'm good on the big palettes for now. Now these little ones, I think these little ones are so worth it, and they're $29. And I know that's expensive for 6 shades, but like they're really good shadows. And to me, I'll spend $29 5 times before I'll pick up something like this. So yeah, that's just kind of where I'm weighing in on that. So there's that. And then a surprise for me, I use the BH Cosmetics Zodiac palette. And I mean, seriously, it's like bigger than my head. This was so good. And I mean, it's old, right? I mean, Andrea sent this to me because she got it at TJ Maxx and I wanted it. So she got it for me. You guys, these shimmers around the outside perform beautifully. They're baked. I mean, I'll probably have this the rest of my life because it's not going to get finished anytime soon. The mattes around the middle here are so blendable, very pigmented. They're not patchy. This shade in the middle, which is supposed to be like a highlighter, I believe, it's just nice. I have nothing bad to say about this. I have been so impressed with BH Cosmetics formula and stuff. This isn't going anywhere. It's sticking around. I don't know when I'll use it again. It's kind of like this one in the pizza palette that I'm like, where do I store these? But the Glamlight, you know, the big pizza one. I mean, if you know, you know. They're huge. So that's what she said. So let me get on with my last 5 palettes, which are all from Natasha Denona, and they are all like my little babies. The Natasha Denona Glam Face Palette. I have found that I really like Natasha Denona. I didn't get the newest one, even though I really want it. I think I'm going to get it with my points. I think I'm gonna get it with my points at the end of the year. I stack my points like forever. But this is the Glam Face palette. I love this palette. And I'm gonna put it in as a focus palette for next year at some point. This was just such a surprise for me. The blush and the highlighter both work very well for my skin tone, and these shadows are gorgeous. Nothing bad to say. Same thing with the pastel palette. This was a gift from Jen, and I wouldn't have picked this up on my own, but I'm so glad to own it because I really have decided that I really do like pastels, and I like the way they look on me. So, and they're really fun. And I got some really good use out of this, and I really enjoyed it. Then I have the Retro Glam palette. Same with this. I was a little surprised about how much I liked it. It didn't get as much use as the pastel palette. I had these in rotation at the same time, and I kept gravitating toward the pastel one. So there's that. So there is the Retro Glam. But again, I really like it. The only thing I heard that made me disappointed was that her formula goes bad quickly. So I really want to get a lot of use out of my Natasha Denona palettes while they're still like good palettes in good quality. Yeah. Then I have the Zendo palette. This was one that Deb gifted me because I made her a cross stitch, and I told her she didn't have to pay me, and then I wanted this palette from BoxyCharm and she wouldn't let me pay her. So even trade, I guess. This was great. I loved this palette. I love the color story. I did a really nice like greeny blue look. I did a really nice neutrally look. I did like a pinky look, and I really enjoyed it. So yay. And then last but not least is my Natasha Denona gold palette. This is like my baby. It doesn't have as much use in it as I would like it to have, but I have put it in a couple of different projects, and I want to keep this rotating in my collection as like a palette that's put into projects because I don't want it to go bad. I really like it. And I'm so glad I got this when it came back into stock. It's one I kind of chased down. I was disappointed when it went out of stock on her website, and then or it was discontinued, and then I kept looking at Mercari, and I found a couple, and I was like, no, and then it came back out, and I was like, oh my God, I'm getting it. So I did. So now I guess my peak in my pit. I think I would say, honestly, that my pit is this Pat McGrath palette. And that's a little surprising to me. That or the Huda Beauty one. Because these aren't anything I would rush out to repurchase. The Huda Beauty would be a pit because it's not a cohesive thing for me. Like, I had to pull in other shadows to get a cohesive look. And that's kind of a bummer for me. The Pat McGrath one, because like I said, the quality of the eyeshadows is not where I would expect them to be, in my opinion. But everything else, I mean, they're not bad. It's just, I think like they should be like, I don't know, they should dance for me as I put them on or something. I don't know. I'm lost for words on that. My peak, oh, let's see. Can I have 3? Because can I have 4? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Calm yourself down, Kim. I mean, these are always going to be peaks for me. I've mentioned these before. I've said these were peaks before. So I'm going to say that these are peaks. But I'm going to choose 2 other ones. I wonder if you can guess. Put your guesses down below as to what you think my peak, I have 2. What you think my 2 peaks are for this video. Go ahead, I'll wait. Okay, the first one is the Natasha Denona Glam Face Palette. I use this, and then I said to myself, I think you need to use this as a focus palette. So next year it will be one of my focus palettes, and I have an idea for that. Jen and I were talking, and we came up with an idea. I still want to do the eyes project, but this will be incorporated into it for me. So yay. And then the second one is my Natasha Denona Gold palette. This is just winner chicken dinner all the way around. I absolutely love this palette. It's gorgeous. So that is going to be rotated sometime in next year for a focus as well. Maybe I'll put it in like at Christmas time because it's like a celebration. I mean, this just looks like celebration to me. So yeah, that's my eyes project pan. I don't know if you wanted more detail on things, if I didn't give enough detail, if I rambled too much. Let me know what you think. It's been a long time since I've done one of these videos. And like I said, I don't take pictures of my looks, so it might be a little bit boring, but I usually don't like to update this every month because it'd just be like me going, I don't know, I just think it's boring. Me just update, I don't know. Let me know what you think. I'm kind of talking too much, but anyway, yeah. Anyway, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Go check out all the other ladies that are listed down below. And if you liked me, please consider subscribing. I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.